Hi guys, and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we're going to make this easy shawl. This project is great for beginners. It can be made without the edging if you prefer. The edging of this shawl can also be added to scarves, blankets, bags, hats, and just about any project that you've made. There will be a free written pattern located on my website. I will put the link that you need in the description box. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Instagram and Facebook. I would like to say a huge thank you to redheart.com for providing the yarn in this tutorial. It comes in many colours and looks fantastic. If you're after free patterns and also awesome yarn, go to redheart.com and I will put a link for you in the description box. So let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies, we're going to need 2 skeins of Red Heart Super Saver in the stripes. I'm using the Parrot stripe colourway. You can use any 10 ply, which is a worsted weight. This is the same thing. Number 4, a worsted weight, or a 10 ply for us Aussies and people in the UK. You can use an Aran weight. This project will also work with a DK yarn, which is a number 3 for the US. It is a double knit or double knitting yarn in England or the UK, and it is an 8 ply for Australia and New Zealand. You can see all the gorgeous colours in this yarn and it is very nice. I say that you need 2 skeins of this yarn because this is all I have left after making mine, and if you make yours the same size as mine, you are going to need 2 balls as well. So you can see I've got a little bit left to make something for another project. These are 5-ounce skeins, so I've almost used 10 ounces and they are 141 grams each. And like I said, this is a worsted or a 10 ply or an Aran weight yarn. It's got 236 yards or 215 meters per ball. If you're using an 8 ply or a double knitting yarn or DK yarn or a number 3, you're going to use maybe a little bit more because this yarn is thinner than the Red Heart Super Saver stripe. This yarn is a great colour changing yarn, and this project will work well with colour changing yarns like this one and also the Super Saver Ombre, which would be really pretty. The edging is worked after we work the whole shawl, so if you want to change up the edging on the shawl for something else, then you are more than welcome. But I thought of this edging the other day because I wanted to add tassels to this shawl, but I'm not really a fan of normal tassels, so I thought I'd just try something a little different to see if I'm a fan of these, and I think they look really cool. And I think these would look really good for a blanket edging as well. It's not going to fray. That's what I worry about on the shawls that have the, the yarn that you wrap around and you cut and then you add the fringe. I thought that they fray. Could anybody tell me if they actually do? Because I'm not really sure, but that's something that I was worried about if I did that. Do the ends all come undone, like the ends of the yarn where it's cut? We also need a yarn needle with a large eye. This is just a plastic one that I've got in my stash from somewhere. You're also going to need a crochet hook that is bigger than what is recommended for the yarn. The yarn I'm using recommends a 5.5 or a I size crochet hook. This is a 6mm or a J size crochet hook. If you're going to use the double knitting yarn or the DK yarn, I would recommend a 4.5, which is around a G size, or a 5mm, which is a H size crochet hook. If you would like to buy these crochet hooks, these tulip ones, or the ones that I also use called Clover, there is a link in the description box. This is an affiliate link, so if you make a purchase via that link, I will get a little bit of commission at no extra cost to you, and that helps me keep my videos and written patterns free. So thanks in advance if you make a purchase, as it really helps with my tutorials. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, and as you can see, I haven't cleaned them yet and they are rusty. They still work really well, just don't look the best. So for the tutorial, I am just going to use up the leftover yarn that I have from my ball, because I'm just going to make a small sample so that it fits in front of the camera a lot better. For this project, we use a magic circle, or you may call it a magic ring. You could use the chain 4 and join, but you're not going to be able to cinch it up really well. So what I'm going to do is start with the magic circle. So I just grab the yarn, just hold it like that, just wrap it around my fingers, grab my crochet hook, put it through the middle of the circle, so you could just go underneath these 2 strands. I'll grab my yarn, and hold on to those pieces of yarn there, and then I just pull this yarn strand, our main yarn, through the loop, and I'm still holding on to that. What we want to do is chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. This counts as the very first double crochet and a chain 1. Still holding on to there, but I hold on to that as well just so I have a smaller loop to work with. We want to double crochet into the ring, and we're going to work a chain 1. We are also going to work another double crochet. So our first row is a chain 4, a double crochet, a chain 1 and a double crochet, and that just counts as 3 double crochets and 2 chain 1 spaces. We can now pull tighter on this. You could pull that really tight and sew in the ends if you want to, but you can also do that at the end. Row 2, we are going to chain 4. Now you can turn your work now, or you can do chain 4 and then turn. It's completely up to you. I just, in a habit, I do the chain and then I turn my work. Into the very first stitch, and we do this at the beginning of every single row. Into the very first stitch we're going to work a double crochet, and this is our increase that we do at the beginning and the end of the row. So our chain 4 counts as first double crochet and a chain 1, so it'll look like that. I'm going to chain 1. And this project we only work into the double crochets and then end chains. We don't work into the chain 1 that we've been putting between the double crochet. So we're going to do a double crochet into the middle double crochet of the row below. Chain 1. Into the third chain of the chain 4 from the previous row, we're going to work double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. So looking at your chain, 1, 2, hang on, might be easier if we turn it around. 1, 2 and 3, and then the fourth one is this top one. This is our chain 1 that we need to separate the 2 stitches, so we're crocheting into this one. So that's a double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet in the same stitch. And you can see we've got an increase at the start because it's all worked in that same stitch, a double crochet in the middle and then an increase at the end. We're going to do a chain 4, turn our work around, and we're going to work a double crochet into the first stitch. Chain 1 into the next double crochet, and each double crochet across we're going to work a double crochet and a chain 1. So into the next one, so we're skipping the chain which is there and working into the top of the double crochet. Chain 1, next double crochet. The first couple of rows is you've got to concentrate because there's not many double crochets across, but once your rows start getting longer it's quite easy to see. Into the last stitch here, which is our chain 4 from the previous row, we're going to work double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and we're going to work it into the third chain of our chain 4 here. Instead of counting up, what I do is I count the first chain here and then go in the next one, because we know that's the third, because we need to leave 1 as our chain 1 space. That's just quicker for me. So skipping that chain 1 which is there and going in the next one. And I like to get 2 loops when I go through, just makes it a little bit more secure, it doesn't pull up a big loop. So chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch, chain 4, turn your work, and we're going to repeat this for the remainder of the project. I'm going to show you one more time, and then you keep going for as long as you want. If you've got different type of yarn, you can make it as long as wide or long. I guess it's long, it's wide as well. You can make it as whatever, as long as you want. But if you want yours to be the same size as mine, I'm going to go and count how many rows I did, because I haven't counted them yet. And I'm going to tell you how many I did. So I'm going to show you one more time. So we've done our chain 4, I'm just checking, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then double crochet in the same stitch, the very first stitch there. Chain 1. And in each, so you can see we've got more double crochets, so it's a lot easier to see. In each double crochet across, we're going to work a double crochet and a chain 1. I have my yarn next to me, like always, and it keeps getting stuck on the mouse because I'm next to my computer. Move the mouse out of the way. And it keeps getting stuck on the label of the yarn. It keeps getting stuck on the tripod. Ah dear, tutorial problems. So yeah, we are going to go into the third chain. Remember what I said? Just skip that first one, and we know this one here is our third chain. Even though it's second coming from this direction, it's third going up. And we're going to work our increase, which is, I have not yarn over, and then work your increase. Chain 1, and back in the same stitch for another double crochet. And you can see it will gradually start to look like a shawl. It's a mini shawl at the moment. And like I said, you're going to continue with this for as many rows as you would like. And if you give me a second, I'll go and count my rows and tell you how many I did. On my finished version, I did 33 rows. This doesn't have to be odd or an even amount of rows. It is completely up to you how many you do. I sort of kept going until it was big enough, and also looked at my yarn and thought, that looks like I've got enough yarn to do the edging. I actually didn't think I was going to have enough, but surprise, surprise, I had heaps left, which is a bonus. So, like I said, just keep going as many as you want. The edging that we've got on this will literally fit on any amount of rows. So I'm going to continue a little bit more with this. I'll just add like 2 or 3 more rows, and then I'll show you how to do the edging. It's super simple, great for beginners. Pause the video, and when you're ready to do your edging, I will meet you in just a moment. Pause the video and I'll see you then. So as you can see, I've completed a few more rows, and when you're ready to do your edging, we're just going to turn our work to the side, and we're going to work down the side of our shawl. We don't put the edging along the top edge that we just crocheted, the last row that we just crocheted. We do it down the edging towards the point, which is where we very first started. When I made my chains, I made them with 18 chains. I just found that that was the number that worked for me. I don't know why, that was just the number I liked. But if you want to make your edging shorter, you use less chains. If you want to make your edging longer, like the chain section of the edging, you just add more chains. It's as simple as that. If you don't want it as full like I had mine, you can do, so when I did mine, I'll show you where I went. I looked at the side of my work, and I worked into the space between the last 2 stitches. And then I also worked into that bit there. Just put my crochet hook in there. You'll see like a little, See how there's a little hole there? That's where I went. So I did one into there, into the side of the stitch here, around that stitch, and then also in there, and then my next one went in that space there. If you don't want it as full, you can just go around the end of each stitch. So you would just go one in that space, one in that space, one in that space. If you want it even more full, you could do 2 into the space and then 1 into that stitch there. Completely up to you. So I'm going to add a photo of the shawl now, and you can see the edging. So that's, I used 1 in the space and then 1 into the end stitch just here. So decide on what you want to do. If you don't want it as, I don't know what you call it, as full, I guess that's what you would say. Don't want it as full, then do 1 in each stitch. So to do our edging, I chained 18. Again, if you want it longer or shorter, then do the amount that you want and just stick to that number throughout the edging. And then come back down here, and the space that's on the end, so this actual hole here, this hole, you're going to put your crochet hook through there, so into there, and then grab your yarn, pull through, and then pull through there. So you're just doing a slip stitch and just pulling that slip stitch snug. Again, chain 18. Ooh, almost went too many. 18. So now our next one is in there. This is really hard to show you. I can see it really well. I'm sure you can too, but so I've just worked in that space, and we're going to go in there. There's like a little, there's a thread coming across here, and it just makes a, if I do it like that, it stands out much better. There you go. So you're going to put your crochet hook in there. So you've got that thread on top of your crochet hook. Through to the back, pull through, and then pull through for a slip stitch, and I just sort of pull that snug. We're going to work this all the way along. So after we've done that stitch here, we want to go into the end, so where my finger is, I'm going to put the crochet hook in there, and it's just the space, I'm going to work a slip stitch, it's the space between the last stitches or the first stitches. So it was the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, or if it's the beginning of the row, it's a chain 4 and then double crochet in the same. So it's just that space in between there. And we're going to work this all the way across. And I'm going to meet you when we get to the bottom point of our shawl, so where we very first started. So, sorry, I had to turn my phone off. I don't know if you could hear it vibrating. One thing after another in this tutorial. Keeping it real, isn't it? So see how this is our cast on. This is the magic loop that we did, or magic circle. We're going to go, or magic ring, magic loop. It's not even called a magic loop, that's knitting. Magic circle down here. So continue all the way across. You'll have a lot more than me because I've only made a small one. And I'll meet you when we are ready to do the corner, because you'll see that's like a corner there. It's just slightly different to what we've been doing. So pause the video and I'll see you there. When we get to the end, what we So what I've done is I've gone into that last space. You'll notice I didn't go into the end of the stitch. I'm cheating. I'm not making it as full because it's just for the demo. You didn't see that part, so it didn't matter. Just helps me make my videos a bit quicker in editing and everything. So you can either go into this space here, or you could even go, if you wanted to, into the end of the magic ring. I think I may have pulled mine a bit too tight. I have. So what you could do is, if you can't get back in there, go into the two, what have we got, vertical bars, go in between those and make a slip stitch. If you don't want it to be as full, then skip that one and then just slip stitch into the space on the other side, which is just here. And I'll show you how to do that now. So you would skip that one if you wanted to, and then just slip stitch into that one. And we are going to work our way up the other side. So you can see here, I'll just show you, let me just organise my yarn. I didn't do the full one, I've done the less full one. And I skipped that little stitch that we were going into. And you can see here that it's not as full as the shawl version, the big shawl version, like the adult shawl. It's not as full. Up here is the bit that I showed you what to do on the video just before, and you can see that's a lot fuller. There's a lot more. Just organise my loops. There's a lot more crochet up that end. A bit more holy down this end, and where it's more closer together up this end. Loving this yarn. I love how it changes colour. So continue across, pause the video, and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm up to the end. I've just slip stitched into that last space here. You can see that. If I just move that across, it'll make it a bit more obvious. When I did the fuller version, which is not this version, I did another chain of 18 and I slip stitched into the third chain or the top chain. It doesn't really matter. The third or the fourth chain up there, just to finish that off, because at the moment it's sort of finished off in the middle. But if you're going to use the less full version, you can pull that and make it look like it's up there. So we're now finished. We just need to grab our yarn. Grab your scissors. And wait till your camera focuses and pull through. Is there a full moon or something? Because today's video. And then we're going to sew in our ends, and you know how to do that because you've probably made a million projects. That looks so cute. So I hope you enjoyed that project. Thanks for watching. Please share your creations on our Facebook and Instagram pages. You can always tag me over there. All the information for the links for our Facebook page and Instagram are in the description box of this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet.